actually guides us on how we can meditate, how to sit, what is the right posture, what kind of ahara, what should be the right rules to be followed to reach that path, to follow the path of Jnana Yoga. So in that, the major takeaway from the Amrit Parivar point of view for us was that it is important for us to understand the importance of Tyaga and also to teach the future generations the importance of Tyaga. Right? I request all online participants to please stay on mute. Okay. Nutanji, I've muted you. So just in case you have anything to add in, please unmute and talk. Moving forward, a very brief introduction about Lakshmi Amma for those who are attending newly. She's been with the Vivekananda Kendra since 1981, where she joined as a Jivan Vritti. Born in Thrissur on March 1st, 1936, Amma has actually completed her PhD, postdoctoral research in botany, and served in several colleges as a professor. She's joined the Vivekananda Kendra in 1981, and she went on to be the joint general secretary, and later the president between 1984 to 1995. She's been the All India president of Vivekananda Kendra, and currently during her tenure as the president, Amma has actually significantly traveled several parts of the country, trying to spread the teachings of Swami Vivekananda, trying to offer the kind of, the services, take forth all the man-making, nation-building work as envisioned by Eknath Ji. She strived to reach the messages of the Vivekananda Kendra of Swami Vivekananda to every sector and every part of the country across different age groups. She's an amazing writer. Several of her articles are published and now also come out as books. The Snakes and Ladder, which is based on the Bhagavad Gita, a book called Sita Must Live, which is devoted to women, and a book called Vande Matram, filled with all patriotic ideas, are just some of the books that we are mentioning right now. But she's written several other articles and books, especially in Malayalam. Amma, we are very, very fortunate to have you amidst us. Welcome you for today's session. Kindly please lead us into the session.
Brahmacharyavrati dandi sarvavedanta pandita Srimad Viveka Yogi Mam Prachodayadu Sarvada Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pankham Lankhayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Namaste to all of you. This is our Onam season, the most famous festival of Kerala. Lot of things to eat, people meeting each other, greeting each other. Malayalis from all over the world, they try to come home to celebrate Onam, to be with their people. So it is a big family get-together. Only thing is, the families have become very fragmented, what is called as the Anu family. The macro families have all broken up into micro families, but still there is some sort of a elation, happiness all around Kerala. So many competitions, this, that. It's a very happy time. In the Dhyana Yoga, the most important sloka for us to remember all our life is Sri Krishna insisting that each one of us must try to improve oneself. Uddhared atmanatmanam, natmanam avasadayed, atmaiva hyatmano bandhu, atmaiva ripuratmanah. I put it in a jovial way, saying it is, we are looking at ourselves in the mirror, and there this message comes. And the minute it stresses on your own self-effort, most of the people will say, no, I can't. Not in this Janma. Let me take it to my next Janma. What a self-improvement and all that. It is all theory. So like that, many people must have left. Now only a few of us remain here to listen to the rest of the Bhagavad Gita. As I mentioned earlier, the first 6 chapters deal with Aham, our own self. How to improve ourselves so that we can get on to the other steps. Today we are going to step on to the 7th step. Very, very important step. A magnificent revelation of the totality of existence. It's a very, very important chapter, or we can say discourse. So, as we mentioned earlier, the earlier 6 chapters have given us some sort of a training, what to expect from Krishna. So, like Arjuna, we are also eager to hear what he has to say now. We think he has finished, he has told us everything, nothing more remains. But no. So he takes us to Jnana Vijnana Yoga. It's a very, very important chapter in Bhagavad Gita. When we casually go through, it may not strike us as very important. But as we start analyzing each and every sloka, what to say? The whole universe opens up before us. That is the feeling one gets. The expansion is so much that we feel breathless by the way he is revealing where we actually stand in our life. So let us step by step enter into that. For a long time, I have always been under the impression, Jnana Vijnana, what exactly does it mean? I was thinking Jnana means knowledge, Vijnana means practice of it in human life. It is true to some extent, because no knowledge is worth its name unless it becomes practicable. It is practiced by us and adds to our life experiences. Our life's experiences polish that knowledge and help us to integrate it within ourselves. Otherwise, just mugging up knowledge, oh, I have studied so many Upanishads, I know by heart the whole of Gita. Yes. All that will add to the burden of your ego. That is all. But unless and until at least Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya, Sri Krishna says in the 2nd chapter, unless we know how to put into practice at least a mustard seed of that knowledge, what use it is. So knowledge as such, theoretical knowledge as such is of no use to us. But we must know how to put it into practice. That is what Krishna is going to teach us here. Because we come across very many characters in our Itihasas and Puranas who acquire knowledge through tapas and then finally land themselves in trouble. So to avoid that, Sri Krishna wants us to give us this beautiful interlinkage between jnana and vijnana. See, all the scientific discoveries we know of, they all, after some time, seek technological ways and means by which they can be put to use in human life. So that is very clear to us. There is a science and the technology we know of. But now you see what these technologies and science have done to the earth. They have been useful to us, no doubt. But all these scientific innovations, all this technological expansion of the science, what is it ultimately they have done? They have created so much of complications. They have polluted the earth, the water, the systems, air, everything, including human life. And now we feel, oh, it was better. Some people feel, no, I don't want to use this structure. The old type is much better. I will go back to the old. So where is that lacuna? We must be very, very careful in understanding this. When the modern science has adopted technology as its means of reaching out to people, enriching their lives, at the same time, it has also created very many problems. It has landed humanity and Earth, Mother Earth, in great peril. We are all feeling it, we are all experiencing it, but we don't know what it is. But on the contrary, think of India. We must have had some 10,000 years of growth, cultural, civilizational expansion. But hardly any injury has been done to our rivers, to our mountains, to our earth, to the air, to our food materials, nothing. What is this difference? Think of it. Isn't it beautiful to think of it? That India's spiritual heritage has not left any black marks in its growth, whereas the modern technological growth is leaving at every point some black hole. So, what is it due to? That is where Jnana Vijnana Yoga comes to our assistance to understand this. So we must be very careful. Now we are going to take up more and more deep. We are entering into the subject in the next 6 chapters. It is going to be deeper and deep. It requires deeper and deeper meditation from us. So we have to carefully listen to it. So we will see what is the difference. So Sri Krishna, in his very first stanza, uses a word, asamshayam samagram mam yadha jnasyasi tashrunu. Samagram, a very comprehensive understanding. What is a comprehensive understanding? Suppose I want to get my daughter married to a boy. What will I do? I will inquire about his parentage, his education, his habits, his cultural background, brothers, sisters, relations, his salary, his official status and character, isn't it? We want to get a samagra, comprehensive understanding, not these present days marriages where you see an advertisement and go and register, not that. In our olden days, typical of our ancient Hindu philosophy, marriages were made in heaven, sort of. That is, everything was taken care of. We used to say, when a Brahmin in the neighboring Brahmin house and all that, when the groom comes to see the bride, she will made to sing, she will made to walk, that there is no defect in her walking, there is no defect in her pronunciation, in her singing, she knows something, so that there is a fullness of the approach. But today we have become so fragmentary. So we have to gain back that fullness of approach in everything. That is what this Jnana Vijnana will give us. So this transformation of our knowledge into Vijnana should take care of what? The interrelationships, interdependencies, and interconnectedness, or the parasparya of the whole universe. So that is what Krishna means here by saying samagram. Leave your fragmentary approach to life. Go towards the fullness of life. Fullness of life. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudacya. We are capable of that, provided we know Jnana, Vijnana interlinkage. So that is why it's a very, very thought-provoking chapter in Bhagavad Gita. So this samagra, comprehensive understanding is necessary. Now, what is this comprehensive understanding that we have to take care? So Sri Krishna says, we don't know. What exactly is? When I want to deal with my life, what is a comprehensive understanding? Samagram, samagram. What does it mean? So Sri Krishna starts giving us the clues. How and where he must start. So he says in the next few slokas, he says, look, Arjuna, you must understand my prakriti, my nature. He carefully, he wants to see that Arjuna doesn't fall into the misunderstandings created by what we can say today's technology. That sort of a mistake Arjuna should not commit. So Krishna is implanting into him this samagra darshana. So in that samagra darshana, Sri Krishna says, first and foremost, Arjuna, any knowledge becomes enlivened only when it becomes part of life. Isn't it clear to you? Yes, Krishna, it is very clear. Now, when he starts his second discourse, he says, second explanation, Sri Krishna says, we feel a sense of remorse in him. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschidhyadati siddhaye yatatamapya siddhanam kaschin me veti tattvada. Arjuna, unfortunately, many people are like you only. Any fragmentation of the knowledge, they say they are a vidwan, they are a pandit, and they are not at all bothered. Among thousands, only few will take up. That is why I said, in the last chapter, when you say Uddhared Atman Atmanam, most of the crowd went back because they are not interested in self-improvement. So here he says that, listen carefully. Thousands of people, they want to acquire knowledge. This knowledge, special knowledge. Yatatam siddhanam. Many of them take up to postgraduate for PhD, etc. Even among them, how many will become a good real scientist with a deep understanding of the subject, deeper involvement in the subject, a vision of how to make this useful to the community, to the society? How many will be there? The real truth of the wholeness of my being, very few know, Arjuna. That takes us to the meeting between Narendra and Sri Ramakrishna. Naren goes to Sri Ramakrishna and asking, we all know, have you seen God? And what is he saying? Yes, yes. I see God just as I see you, but more clearly. But my child, who wants to know about God? Eh? People will cry for wife, for family, for wealth, everything. Is there one person who will cry to see God? So, 5,000 years later, Sri Ramakrishna comes up with the same. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschityadati siddhai. Very few people. Now, how many of us are listening to this Gita? People will say, oh, we know Gita, every aspect of it. We need not waste our time listening to these talks. Okay, it is okay. But blessed are we. We are getting into a new type of meditation, which nobody has thought of before. How from Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, we can pick up some elementary principles to improve ourselves and our families so that the totality of the Indian culture becomes safe in the Amrita families. That is our ultimate aim. So only very few will come forward to do that. Now, Sri Krishna wants to emphasize the unity of existence. So everything is one. But how can we make it enter into our knowledge sight? So he says, look, you know the 5 elements. Yes, I know the 5 elements. All the 5 elements are myself. I have become the earth, the water, they are only different in the vibratory level or characteristics, isn't it? Otherwise, they are all the same. Oh, I see. That is true. Not only that, Arjuna. Now, who reacts with these 5 elements? Your 5 sense organs, your buddhi, your ahamkara, which deal with these 5 elements, shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. The tanmatras are absorbed by you, and you enjoy your life to fullness. Through eyes we see, through ears we hear, through tongue we taste, so on and so forth. So from where they all come from? I am sitting inside you. I am operating through your 5 organs, and these are the things which I have created. And that is a oneness, Arjuna. So simple and elementary. It is one and one only. Understand that oneness. So to emphasize the unity in diversity and the wonderful parasparya, the interlinking, Krishna reveals the apparent diversity of the 5 elements and the apparent interlinking between our senses and this. He says, everything is myself only. The whole cosmos is coming from me. It is I operating through your eyes gives you the vision. I operating through your ears gives you the capacity of hearing. I operating through your nose gives you the taste of the smell. Through the tongue, through the skin. Do you understand, Arjuna? And this is my prakriti. The Panchabhutas and all that we create, that is my prakriti. And I sitting in you enjoy what I have created. Is it clear? I am one. Yes, beautiful, isn't it? It is only that omniscient, omnipotent, that power has God himself transformed into all this so that we human beings enjoy our life. We listen to music, we taste good food, we listen to so many nice things, we experience so many nice things in the world. Who gives us all that? Yeah, that oneness of existence. Sri Krishna says, this comprehensive understanding that everything you do takes you to a connection with the Panchabhutas, with being in the Panchabhutas. If this comprehensive understanding can be kept in you, and then you educate yourself, do you scientific research or whatever it may be, this interlinking is always kept within you, then that becomes real Vijnana. So now, do we understand the difference between the modern science? They never had a comprehensive view of the whole, the oneness of the universe, the interrelated, interconnected, interpenetrating or interdependence of the whole. So this parasparya was not known to them. So all the scientific development came without taking into consideration this interrelationship. And what happened? You create the atomic power as it is all right. But the minute you transfer it into a technology, the first thing we hear of is an atom bomb, neutron bomb. Any scientific discovery, why our allopathic medicines versus Ayurvedic medicines? What is the difference? We all know Ayurvedic medicines have no side effects. They take care of your entire body's self-generating power. Whereas the other, they take care of the symptomatic curing and create so much of side effects and so on. So everything you try to analyze, you will find how great were our scientists, our rishis, who took always a care to see that nothing is disturbed. See, Devic and Asuric forces were there. They were fighting with each other, killing, murdering, everything was there. But nature was not disturbed. Kurukshetra war took place only in Kurukshetra. Russia-Ukraine war is affecting the whole of humanity. It is not like that. For Dharma and Adharma came to the battlefield and fought the battle. So what happens? This Samagra Vikshana, this comprehensive understanding, that is what we should take care when we transfer our knowledge into Vijnana. So when this knowledge of oneness is transformed into our life activities, we must take care that nothing is disturbed anywhere. So what happens in a family? The family, each member should take care that his thought, word, and actions does not disturb anybody else. He works for the total shreyas of the family. His thoughts, words, and deeds do not hurt anybody. Holy Mother's final advice, never see fault in anyone. If you want to see fault in yourselves. Never hurt anybody by your thoughts, words, or deeds. And remember, all of them are mother's children. They are all my children. Why do you go on hurting each other? So in a such simple, elementary way, she gives these wonderful words of Krishna, that we should, this principle of oneness. So every action of ours should, now how Swamiji sees it, every action of ours should be Atmano Mokshartham and Jagat Hitaya Cha. We shall not disturb anything in the Jagat. We will add to the fullness of the Jagat. We will add to the prosperity of the Jagat. We will strengthen the interconnectedness which we find around. So environment was protected, rivers were protected, mountains were protected. So imagine the difference between our Vijnana and their technology. Our Vijnana arose out of our knowledge of oneness, how we could make use of this unity in diversity. It's a great meditation. It's a sadhana. It's a tapas for us to think of it and feel that oneness within us, how we are related to everything in this universe. And Sri Krishna adds here a very beautiful sloka. A sloka we should remember as part of our, what I said earlier, Gita Japa Mala. Mattak paradaram kinchit nanyatasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam prodam sutre maniganaiva. Such an elementary statement. Sutre maniganaiva. We all know how we pick up the beads and make a chain through the sutra. Who is the sutra? E is equal to mc squared. That sutra goes through everything in this universe. And they are held together. Sutre Maniganaiva. We must get it by heart. So many slokas are there. In between, I am stressing it so that finally we will make a japamala out of these beautiful stanzas, which will remind us of this interconnectedness, interrelatedness, and interdependence. So Krishna says, Sutre Maniganaiva. Then in this, as he goes on, sometimes Krishna is very mischievous, He will make some mischievous statements. So in this connection, he talks about bhakti. What has bhakti got to do? Yes, I am a bhakta. I go to the temple every day. I do puja, I do rituals, I do donations, I do everything this thing. I am a very good bhakta. But that is our view of Krishna, bhakti, isn't it? How Krishna views us. That's what we find in this chapter. Chaturvidha bhajande maam. When I look at my devotees, Arjuna, I find 4 types of people in them. Artho, Jijnasur, Artharthi, Jnani, cha, Bharatarshava. Some people come to beg me. I am very, very poor condition. I have lost everything. Please help me to recover my wealth. Yes, some of them will come. Some great tragedy has occurred. I am in deep concerned with my family members. Somebody is sick, or please try to help me to get them treated. So like that, people approach me 4 types. Artho, Jijnasur, Artharthi. Lastly, Arjuna, there is one group. They don't want to ask me anything. They just want to know who I am. In what way I am connected with them. Jnani. They want only realization of the self. So these are the 4 people. And Arjuna, I tell you secretly, I love only the last one. The rest are all, I take care of them all right, because they also come to me calling me once in a way, Krishna, Mukunda, Murare. I take care of them. But the one who is really dear to me is this last one, who wants to realize the self within as the self everywhere. That is the Jnani whom I am really concerned with. So, Krishna, he continues his mischievous comments. Then he comes. Another place he's saying, Arjuna, you people, to achieve something, you go worship this, you go to Ganesha, you go to Muruga, you go to Shiva, you go to Devi. So many deities you are finding out. You will go to each one of them and pray for something or other to fructify your this. What to do? Because of my compassion for the humanity, even though they are worshipping as though they are different, they don't know I am one and the same. They worship them as though different. Yes, if I go to Devi, then my family will be taken care of. If I go to Shiva, my enemies will be destroyed. If I go to Ganapati, my business will be taken care of. They see me differently in this, but I am there in everyone. So out of my concern for the humanity, if they have Shraddha, he puts the word, if they have Shraddha in them, I take care to see that their prayers reach me. I respond to them positively. I forget that they are having a fragmented approach. Poor things, they don't know, they don't have the knowledge. But Shraddha is there. If they are praying to Ganapati, full Shraddha if it is there. Or to Shiva, all that Shraddha, that I will take care and see that they get whatever they want. Krishna's mischief doesn't stop there. he wants to give us also a knock. He says, people are under the impression, I am Balavan, I am rich, I have socially, I am up there. So many types of egoistic declarations these men make, and you know what happens. All that is what I grant for them. Balam balavatam asmi. If you think you are a strong man, from where did you get this strength? It is I who give you the strength. If you think you are a pandit, the panditya, from where you have got? It is I who have given. All the time we were giving, it is our self-effort which made me a pandit or a strong man or a thing. Krishna, he's in the habit of breaking the mud pots, All our mud pots he destroys in one stroke. He's saying, I am the one, out of a very flash of my infinite power, I take care of all this. The asceticism of the ascetics, the grandeur of a king, everything you can think of, it is Balam Balavatam Asmi Kamaraga Vivarjitam Dharma Viruddho Bhudeshu Kamosmi Bharadarshava Echaiva Satvika Bhava Rajasas Tamasas Mattaye Veditan Vidhi. All of them are emanating from me only. There is no second souls at all. There is only one powerhouse for the whole universe. Out of that powerhouse, every power descends to illumine the universe. So our mud pots get shattered. At least let us not say, oh, I have been a very strong, very good student. I was always first. Because he has chosen you to implant in you that power of study. We are something. They have implanted in you that power to speak, you are speaking. To sing, you are singing. You are dancing, you are dancing. So everything, see how beautifully he is connecting. So the Vijnana in our Indian tradition is to realize this oneness. And that oneness as it is present in the Prakriti, in the universe, Krishna is linking up them all for our sake and saying, Matta paradaram kinjit nanyadasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam proktam sutre manigana iva. So this Vijnana Yoga is a very, very important chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. This is how our Bharatiya culture was developing, with this wholesome knowledge. But unfortunately, the foreign invasions with their cultural impositions, the language, customs, traditions, everything were removed from our roots were spoiled. And we were fascinated by the easygoing, materialistic way of life. We thought that is life. That is what I should have. That is the job I should have. That is the money I should have. And we were fascinated by that and lost our moorings. Our families, the link-ups became looser and looser. The real, we remember, Atma, what is it? Bhutatma. That viewpoint of seeing everything as one, that we have lost. Our caste, creed, everything became fragmented. And today, our whole society is in such a bad shape. So the Sanatana Dharma has to be brought back, starting from small, small things. We should bring back this Amrita Bindus into our family and rectify the mistakes which we have done because we did not know how exactly Jnana, Vijnana can be made use of. We have seen only the modern science and technology, and that is the impression which we have when we approach our knowledge. And because of that, we have lost many, many things in our life. So Sri Krishna, in this Jnana Vijnana Yoga, has tried to link up this together. See, you take an example of a big industrial family. How do they survive for hundreds of years? Today we can say Tatas or Dalmias or somebody like that. Whoever has survived, whether it is in East or West, the elders will be managing the affairs. Then slowly, slowly, the youngsters of their studies, they will be introduced into this new management system. They will be given small, small responsibilities. Then finally, one day you will get, he has become the director of one particular section. Then you will hear he has become a CEO. And then you see the old man is retiring and he has become the all in all, the president of the company. Isn't it? That is what we have seen. Similarly, in a home also, the youngsters should be taught the traditions, the customs, the behavioral pattern, their interlinking with the servants, interlinking with the social elite in the society, interlinking with the everything we should take care of, the Sahitya, everything should be taught to the youngsters. So they become proud of their heritage. They, with happiness, they absorb the heritage or the traditions which are handed over to them. But today, again, you see, parents have no time. And the result is the children grow up with fragmented knowledge, fragmented relationship, fragmented emotional setup. So what happens is we find families are getting ruined. So where do we start our Amrita family? Through the discourse of Vijnana Yoga, Sri Krishna reveals the oneness of the 5 elements outside and the powers inside our mind. In effect, they will help us to understand them better and will treat them with humility and respect. Samudra Vasane Devi, Parvatastara Mandide, Gange Chayamane Chaiva, Godavari Saraswati, Brahmarpanam Brahmahave, Brahmagrau Brahmana. We know how to interlink ourselves with the totality of universal forces. And when we do like that, they become blessings in our life. Now, earth is different, water is different. We don't know how to extract from them the blessings which are due to us. When you treat them with humility, with respect, understanding their divine essence, then they become blessings in our life. So that is why sometimes I use a phrase I borrowed from Swami Krishnananda of the Divine Life Society. The officials of the government of universe will start protecting you. When your Jnana Vijnana is in good order, the officials of the government of the universe will start protecting you. So to summarize, Sri Krishna's advice to us is to live our lives in fullness, not fragmented. Be aware of our interconnectedness and relatedness and independence with everything else in the universe. Be aware that there is nothing other than the divine power in this universe. All actions, reactions, and interactions emanate from Him and are sustained by Him and fully dissolve in Him. As this awareness intensifies within us, it becomes one with our thoughts, words, and action. There is neither a friend nor a foe, no good or bad event in life. There is only oneness, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. That is the gift this Jnana Vijnana Yoga presents to humanity. So one who has this sort of an understanding, even if he is a scientist, and he is going to transform his scientific knowledge into a technological utility program, he will think twice. Will it be harmful to the society? or will it do some goodness to the society? So the more and more we think like this, the salt doll which we are, they get dissolved in the waters of the ocean and become one with it. So, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, when properly understood, will go on dissolving this salt doll which every one of us is, and help us to get totally dissolved in that universal power, universal oneness. I think from here onwards, to absorb this fully, we should spend a couple of minutes in silence, closing our eyes, take up any idea which we have heard. Sutre Manigana Iva Matta Paradaram Kinjit Nasti Asti Dhananjaya. Something like that. And learn to absorb it deep within us. So many years I have struggled, this jnana vijnana. Somehow I was not able to absorb it. For the last few days when I took up reading this again, following the words of Samagra, and then Krishna telling about his own Prakriti, inside and outside, then suddenly it clicked. Why our science is different, why our technology is different, how the modern science and technology, what they are lacking. So this sort of an awareness we could develop within, we will find a great clearing up, purificatory process taking place. Jnana, Vijnana. Anything you do, maybe we are cooking, maybe we are washing, we are cleaning, anything we do, we should see to it that we don't disturb the nature. Nature is there, outside and inside. We are one with it. That sort of a oneness with nature around, that will make us feel very, very comfortable, light-hearted. How can we thank Krishna for giving this wonderful illustrative, exemplary talk? He's talking to Arjuna, but he is talking to each one of us to develop that oneness within. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Dhanyavad, Lakshmi Ma. I think it was a very, very wonderful session, because you have tried to break down a very complex topic for us and literally offered it to us in a way that we are able to understand. Right? So just like how you mentioned, the same thought crossed my mind many times. Why is this chapter named this way? I could not understand, or I could not think why. I just always had that question in mind every time, I read that name. But I think today you've made it so relatable. And it is definitely heartening to know that, our perspective or our way of understanding the science of how everything around us is functioning, how we are